John Travolta broke out onto the scene as a movie star who helped define male machismo for a new generation, with roles in hit films like Grease and Saturday Night Fever during the late 70s. Both films featured the star as a womanizer who had the skills to get what he wanted from the ladies. But recent rumors suggest the actor's long-standing image as a ladies' man was actually put in place by the Church of Scientology to cover up the star's rampant homosexuality. Join Factsverse as new details all but confirm the rumors that John Travolta is gay. Over the course of Travolta's Hollywood career, numerous men have claimed to have had homosexual experiences with the actor. One of the more recent men who came out with supposed stories is a pilot named Doug Gotterbaugh. Doug claims he had a romantic affair with Travolta that lasted 6 years throughout the 80s. Though Travolta's camp has continued to deny that Doug's tales have any veracity, Doug's stories feature idiosyncratic details that would have been hard for him to make up, and they coincide with allegations from many other men of similar conduct from the movie star. Doug Gotterbaugh claims to have met Travolta in 1981. He says he even has documents to prove it, as he and John initially met in a professional capacity. Travolta was looking for a new pilot, and Doug Gotterbaugh was one of the many candidates he interviewed. According to Doug, the interview took place in February, and he and John had become lovers by the fall of that same year. For their first date, Doug says they flew into Monterey, California, and shared a bottle of wine over dinner at the Hyatt Carmel Highlands in Carmel by the Sea. At their first dinner, Doug alleges Travolta invited the pilot up to his room for a massage. Doug accepted the invitation and claims things quickly turned sexual. A relationship blossomed, and the relationship apparently lasted for 6 years, before ending later in the 80s due to increasing tensions as a result of John hiding the true nature of his sexuality, as well as his obsessive tendencies. It seems Travolta was constantly worried Doug was cheating on him during their relationship, with John often showing up at Doug's house and going through his personal belongings without his permission to try to find proof of infidelity. While it turned dark later on, their relationship started out as a fairy tale romance for the movie star and his new pilot. John and Doug allegedly went on romantic excursions to exotic locales like Kenya, Amsterdam, and Hawaii over the course of their relationship, with John taking special care to ensure no one in the public ever realized what the star was really up to. John would have women accompany him on the trips so he could pretend he was on a heterosexual romantic getaway, while Doug would be ushered into the movie star's room in secret so the two could canoodle away from prying eyes. Doug Gotterbaugh initially enjoyed the secrecy of his alleged affair with Travolta. He claims it was his idea for John to start a public relationship with fellow star Brooke Shields. Doug claims that John and Brooke never had any actual chemistry whatsoever. Despite Doug's initial enthusiasm for being John's secret lover, the weight of the secret eventually became too much to bear. Between the secrecy and John's increasing obsessive tendencies when it came to their romance, Doug claims to have decided to end his and the star's relationship. After John and Doug ended their alleged romantic relationship in the 80s, Doug claims to have run into the movie star one subsequent time by chance. This was in 1992, by which time John had married wife Kelly Preston. According to Doug, he asked John if he was still carrying on relationships with men during his marriage, to which John replied he was. Doug kept the tales of their alleged affair secret for many years, until he went public with the story in the 2010s. By the time Doug came forward with his story, numerous others had already accused John Travolta of covering up his true sexuality. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. And stick around for more about John Travolta. Prior to Doug Gotterbaugh coming forward with his tales of a supposed 6-year-long affair with movie star John Travolta, John had been the subject of some controversy when 2 anonymous male masseuses came forward with allegations that the actor had fondled them inappropriately while they were giving him massages. The first of these anonymous masseuses went on to retract his claims after Travolta was able to provide an alibi, suggesting he couldn't possibly have been where it was alleged he was. When Doug Gotterbaugh came out with his own tales later on, John Travolta's camp reminded the public of the accusations from the first anonymous male masseuse that had been proven false. From the perspective of John's PR team, it seems there's a conspiracy against him to paint him as homosexual, when in reality he's always been straight. The first person to come forward with allegations that Travolta was hiding his true sexuality was a porn star named Paul Barresi. Paul came out with his story about Travolta in 1990. According to the porn star, he and John had been engaged in a romantic relationship that lasted for 2 years, from 1983 to 85. Of course, if that was true, it would mean John was actually cheating on Doug Gotterbaugh with Paul Barresi. According to Barresi, their romantic relationship started when the movie star approached him when they were both at a gay bathhouse. John perhaps recognized the porn star from his variety of adult features, some of which Paul had even directed. After John approached him, Paul claimed the two had sex dozens of times that night. The romantic encounter led to a 2-year relationship. Similar to Doug Gotterbaugh, Paul claimed things ended up getting pretty weird between him and John, with the movie star proving incredibly obsessive. A little over a decade after these accusations, it was revealed that the male porn star had actually done some shady work for a celebrity attorney that painted his tale in an incredulous light. People became convinced Paul had made his story up, and the porn star was forced to retract his tale to abate public harassment. He later claimed he only did so because he felt pressured to. Nowadays, Paul still stands by his allegations that he had a 2-year relationship with Travolta in the 80s. John Travolta's camp continues to point to Paul Barresi as an example of someone willing to make up stories to paint John Travolta as a gay man. With all the many men who have accused John Travolta of being gay, the movie star's PR team has thought of a way to discredit each one. Besides all of the men who have accused John Travolta of being gay, there's also the fact that the actor's late close friend, Carrie Fisher, constantly talked about the fact that John's gayness was an open secret in Hollywood. According to her, all the ladies in Hollywood knew Travolta was gay and none of them cared. It remains uncertain how Carrie's public statements regarding John's sexuality affected their great friendship. If the ladies have never cared that John Travolta is gay, the Church of Scientology is another story. The church holds some decidedly homophobic beliefs, and many believe it may have been their decision to coerce John Travolta into hiding his sexuality. He's been a long-standing member of the controversial church, and many believe the church may have used some of its resources over the years to help discredit those coming forward with allegations against the star. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know multiple male masseuses have accused movie star John Travolta of inappropriately fondling them during massages? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.